for me, I was really taken by the sight, and I was immediately I thought, oh, this is something that I know. Oh, it reminds me of my childhood when we used to go dog sledding with the neighbor kids, and we were like maybe 10, 11, 12 years old. And because when we went there, it didn't, the ice sheet on the first stop didn't look really that big, except that when you look at it from the above, it's really, really vast, and it seems endless. But when you get onto the ground, it's like you go to the rocks and you can see the water, and then you go just in front of the wall, the dripping wall. And it took me back to something that I know, but of course I know it from memory, but also at some point I knew how to, not climbing, just walk or run down the cliffs and around the rocks and getting closer to the water and to the wall. It was just pulling me somehow, and I just really want to go and touch and really be there on my own. But for me, it's a way to connect and to be there instantly, something that I know. And then the solid rock next to the lake or to the water, it's just like, I felt like I could slide. So you have to be really careful. And then I realized that mentally I was preparing myself for the performance. So yeah, I was very moved because it's like, oh my, it's almost like being a child again. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was overwhelmingly beautiful and powerful, and I felt that at some point I'm used to be around different kind of people, and even here or when I'm in my hometown, I always feel like I'm on my special place. So I never care if people say, "Oh, you should not do this," or "Why are you, going on your own path?" So at that point, when we were together, I felt, well, I'm just so grateful to be here. So I'm just lucky to be here. I mean, really. So when I know that people know, so they come with a lot of knowledge, with science and with their different kind of perspectives on the subject and on the site-specific, even the art. So I was kind of making myself really known to the place and say, I'm here. So touching, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I didn't bother. I mean, in that sense, I wasn't intimidated by other. I mean, so I was just so happy to actually go there and have this intervention. Mm-hmm. It's so vast, and I could feel that the ground was so. We were actually, even though when we landed with the chopper on the ice, it was the ice that was carrying us still like this, And I felt really instantly I was. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. Now I have to go out here and actually let it speak to me. And I was not sure if I could speak to the ice or you. So it was something. It was beautiful. It was so, like, for me, is this a dream? Yeah, is this a dream? Are we dreaming? And the hose and the water welling up and the lake and the stream of the wind was so, I felt so like a different, not even a person, not even an entity, but an organism, or So I had to take off my my socks and my boots, because not to challenge myself, but to be there, So it's my skin had to be there and be on the ground of how many layers, how many thousands and millions of years, and how do you gravitate towards it without becoming something more than just because we are humans, So I really try to strip that off of me and let it take me, So I brought this thin nylon fabric. It was quite big, and I've been using it from time to time. The reason why I like to use it, because it's so light and I can travel with it, and I can just, make it so small. But then when you interact with any kind of space, you can do something with it and create imagery with it. I like to just reuse stuff sometimes, even though if it's a new performance, I like to find things, even things from the plays, and use it. So it could have been a Coca-Cola box or something. I mean, something that speaks to the contemporary understanding of the information that gets to us all the time, and how do we connect to it? How do we reject it or dismiss it, or how do we take it in? So the new thing was that the light bulbs with the LED batteries. I wanted to try that because it is disposable, but it's also rechargeable. And even though if I should try to light up a lantern or a fire or something in regards to make, on behalf of the climate changes and campaigning for something, to change something, to change myself, or to change the behavior of the public, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work anyway, but I can maybe show something to it and try to connect with it, or to encapsulate in the dark, because it's now here in Ilulissat, it's just 24-hour daylight, even in the night. So at the ice sheet, it's really bright somewhere. Yeah. So to actually makes, it could be anything that looks so black. It could be oil exploration, mining, or it could be all the pollution that we create, or it could mean so many things. And for me, it's even the spirits, the spirits of our ancestors, or the spirits of other places, because we believe in that too. So how do you speak to it, or how do you put yourself in there? Yeah. So yeah. Mm-hmm. And the plastic, the other one, it was just something from a package that I saved, and I've been using that in my other performances just recently, because it has some kind of materiality. It's almost like clay. It's not clay, but it's, you know, you
Moldable.
can, yeah, moldable, and create something that, and it has a certain message itself. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just
the robe is, it belongs to the hotel. It's one of the flags.
oh
Yeah, robe. Yeah. But robe is also, it has a connotations to thread and threading, and it has connotation to the old Inuit shamanism or spiritual work. When we work with spirits or with a community gatherings where we are talking with spirits, or maybe letting our own soul travel, then we have to keep the body tight to the place. So it was very windy, so I realized that I just put the robe on my head, my forehead, and around my eyes, and on my, yeah. And at some point, I think around my neck, yeah. I think that's why I wanted to. You asked for a title for the performance, and I was really thinking, and I had this. When I write poetry in my own language, Ilulissat, or I could write in Danish or English, at least mix sometimes languages, and then I had this feeling when I wrote this Arkhticós Doloros. That means Arctic is in pain. And what does that mean? I mean, we have this, we are immersed in pain all the time, but sometimes we just put on some vessel, or we distract ourselves from the pain. But the pain is very, very essential, like the ice sheet and the, you know, for the whole planet. So for me, I was thinking that, okay, I might not understand it myself, but I'm trying to have a conversation with it and see if there's something in me that that can be shared.